Okay, welcome back to the ITSM Brief with Manuel Lloyd. I am your host, Manuel Lloyd. I am the founder of Manuel W. Lloyd Consulting, an IT service management firm. We specialize in IT strategy, design, transition, operations, and continuous improvement, helping medical practices achieve their outcomes. Today, we're going to talk about three considerations when contracting with managed IT service providers for your small and medium-sized practice. This is a trend now for IT support being outsourced to managed IT service providers, or MSPs. So let's get into it and talk about what we can do here to try to help you. At some point in time in your practice, you're probably going to bring in a MSP or a managed service provider. But there's several things to consider before signing a contract. Medical practices, both large and small, that they all have needs that vary, and they're better managed by professionals that know what they're doing. So if you don't have an internal IT department or an internal IT worker, a managed service provider is a great option for you if you choose the right one. So contracting with an MSP or a managed service provider will allow practice managers and senior level management to focus on the attention of growing and managing the practice and seeing patients and taking care of healthcare items. But if you team up with a managed service provider, you have the benefit of having your IT taken out of your mind and being managed properly. And the key is picking the right one. So you want to be really careful, because a lot of people say they're managed service providers and they can do this and they can do that, and it's simply not the case. So teaming up with a managed service provider has several benefits. Of course, if you choose the right one. Conversely, bringing on the wrong one, and there are a lot of wrong ones out there. Just like with any other business, if you bring on someone who doesn't understand HIPAA, doesn't understand even what a BAA is, you don't really need to deal with them in your industry, because healthcare is something that is highly, highly regulated, obviously, for reasons because of sensitive patient information. So you don't want to make a big, expensive mistake by picking the wrong one. So let's look at the three things that I'm going to talk about here excuse me, to help you guide you along in picking the right one. Number one, does the managed IT service provider contract support the goals of both parties, or does it just support the goals of putting money in the pocket of the MSP? When it comes right down to it, every medical practice, be obviously from the obvious of seeing patients and providing patient care, you're trying to turn a profit. You're a business. When you select an MSP, you want to find one that will work with you to help your practice achieve its outcomes. You remember, if you listen to what I talk about a lot, is about supporting business outcomes and managing change and managing risk. So those are three of my 6 top things for this situation that I always talk about. You want to make sure that they can meet your goals and help you with the HIPAA compliant laws and other, PCI, DSS, and all those other regulatory compliance issues that you have to think about as a medical manager. A managed IT service provider that is interested in selling services and products that don't match the needs of your practice, you don't need to walk away. You need to run away from that person. So just avoid that firm or that person altogether, because they're only going to try to see you as an opportunity and only sell you things they're going to meet their bottom line and put more money in their pocket. You got to remember, if you pick an MSP, you're contracting with someone that will maintain your vital EHR and accounting, PACS, and systems that are crucial, and you want to be careful. So you want someone on your side who's able and willing to create a package or a service and the price that reflects the needs of the medical practice and not their bottom line. Number 2, will the managed IT service provider or the MSP be cost effective for you? Well, that depends on a lot of things. When you enter into an agreement with an MSP, you are agreeing to pay a predetermined amount of money, typically every month, for the support and services that they provide you, whether it be remote monitoring and management, help desk, NOC, project management, whatever professional services that they offer you. This can be very cost effective versus paying an hourly rate, though, for support, because if you call someone out for, let's say, a server crash and they charge you $3,000, some of you think, well, I could have bought me a new server for that. Well, you got to get the server, stand it up, mirror image everything and all that good jazz. Versus, however, an MSP that will pay or charge a monthly fee, let's say $2,500 a month, and they're doing not just the server to make sure it doesn't crash, but if the server does crash, typically that's going to be covered under that MSP contract. So now you're stretching your dollar a long, long way, and you're benefiting your practice a lot more than you would if you were to go a break fix service route. This is more cost effective a way of doing things. Again, if you don't have an internal IT department or an IT person or guy or gal in house taking care of these things, and even if you do have someone, an IT department or a internal person, sometimes having that additional MSP to do those other things so that your staff can focus on higher priorities is a great thing to have. In most cases, hiring a managed service provider is the best way to go, if you have sufficient need for the services that are provided. Traditionally, companies who pay hourly rates tend to spend less money on IT support. And you go, wow, I'm saving the company a lot of money. But this also means that they're probably getting poor IT services as well. People are complaining their systems are not working well. It's a Band-Aid approach, and you don't really want to take that approach. Just imagine if you treat your patients the same way you treated your network. If you treat your network well, good for you. If not, I've seen so many companies, medical practices especially, that treat their IT like it's second class, and they depend on it, though. So when it goes down, they're always asking the IT people, when is it going to be back up? When is it going to be back up? And they have struggles fighting with senior management with getting budgets approved. But treat your IT with care. So, when you have a MSP in your corner, a good one, you can feel confident that all the vital areas are being covered, regardless of the number of hours needed to do so. So that's going to be better than a break fix model. And the last item here is you want to compare several managed IT service companies before making your final decision. Well, no duh, right? Everybody knows that. But how do you compare? What are you comparing apples to apples? I'll give you a few things here in a moment. Let me just go through this step right here, which is, it's real easy to get lost in the mumbo jumbo geek speak of the IT world when you don't understand the language being spoken. You need an interpreter. You need someone, either internal or external, that you trust, a trusted IT advisor to tell you, hey, I can speak geek and I can speak business, and I'll translate their geek into business so you can understand, and I'll translate your business into geek so they can understand, so we all could be on the same page and speak the same language. And this is one of the most difficult things that I see happening between the communications lines between an IT company and a medical manager, whether it be a C-level executive, a practice manager, IT director, or IT manager, whatever the case may be. Don't fret though. While this can be concerning, don't let the language barrier lead to a poor business decision. You are hiring a managed IT service provider to cover technologies or technological areas outside of your expertise. However, you don't want to be completely unaware of what's going on within your company. So you want to do a lot of research on several companies and look beyond the savvy marketing and the cool looking marketing and find a company that's right to partner and help you grow your practice and support your practice. This is going to include carefully reviewing services included in the contract, as well as customer service. Are they there 24/7? Do you have to leave a voicemail? What's their service level agreement or the SLA? How soon can they be out? The availability, the capability to handle changes within the healthcare industry. Can they move with paradigm shifts, or are they going to make you wait until they learn it and then learn it on your dime? If you don't understand something, you should ask questions as always. That's an obvious. Or you'll find yourself paying for services you really don't need, and the relationship is just going to get sour. So signing the contract with an MSP ties you to that provider according to the terms of that contract. So make sure you read it very, very carefully. Once you've taken this step, it's important to remain in the loop regarding the services provided. And one of the ways, I'll throw a little plug in here. One of the things that we've done is created this My Virtual CIO software tool that will give you all those reports and the information you need to have that conversation with your managed service provider or with your IT person or your internal IT department. So if you've done your homework and signed on with an MSP, you'll have one less thing to worry about when it comes to managing your practice. Now, some of the services that you're going to be comparing when you do this research, you're going to want to say, okay, they have something, MSPs have something called RMM, Remote Monitoring and Management. Very similar to my virtual CIO service that we offer. They're going to also have service desk. Just be careful. Any remote management, any remote connectivity that a service desk is doing, you want to make sure it's within the U.S. because you could be violating HIPAA if any of your data goes outside of the U.S. borders. They're going to have a NOC or network operating center. They're going to take care of your servers. The thing you want to make sure you get covered, excuse me, in your medical practice are these 5 things. Well, there are a lot of things, but I'll give you 5 real quick here. Is your servers, your databases. That means, your EHR, whether it be Epic, Cerner, NextGen, Clinical Work, eClinical Works, Allscripts, Energy, whatever the case may be. So your servers, your database, your end user and their devices, your networks, whether your local area network, your wide area network, your Wi-Fi network, your VPN networks, point-to-point networks, the whole 9 yards. And if you have voice over IP, and the likelihood is that you do, you want to make sure that they understand how to support those as well. And you want to be sure that these people that you're looking at, they understand HIPAA laws. They understand business associate agreements. They understand the implications and penalties and the risk associated with supporting EPHI. So you don't want to just go willy-nilly into the night and just let anybody do anything that they want to do. So I hope these 3 things help give you a start. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me at Manuel at mwlconsulting.com. That's Manuel at mwlconsulting.com. You can also go to my website at mwlconsulting.com. And I thought I had my information up there, but I don't. Or just give me a call, 910. I do have that information up there. 210-0485. That's 910-210-0485. And if you're outside of the Wilmington calling area, 888-270-4473. 888-270-4473. I'm at extension 101. Thanks so much, folks, for listening in. You take care and do a great job. And by the way, I will make this offer to my listeners. If you have a couple of contracts that you don't understand the language or you need help with, go ahead and send them to me and I'll take a look at them for you. Absolutely free. I won't charge anything for you for them. I'll just do that as a loyal listener for those who are out here listening. So just don't make it a bad mistake. Don't choose someone who's not going to understand your practice and your business and get you into a lot of trouble. All right. Y'all have a great day. Take care.